to the spot like Phil Collins sang it. Fresh new fade with the mustache banging. I know you want to know where the fuck I'm from. Check it out real quick. Episode 5. Got the homie Fats right here from Sacramento.
Yes, sir.
I brought him in because he has another interesting story. You know, as you know, the first 4 episodes I've been bringing in has been some inspiration. Hopefully the audience will see something positive out of this and get something out of it. And you could come too and bring your story here too. But Fats, so what part of Sacramento are you from?
From the north. I'm from North Sacramento.
Okay. Any Pacific areas?
Yeah, I don't like to get into it because it's a.
Oh, right. Okay.
Stuff, yeah.
Okay. Like, what I wanted to talk about is you did, was it 23 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before we talk about the hell you went in there, what made you get there?
Oh, when I was a kid, I ended up catching a murder robbery.
Oh, shit. Okay, that's a hot one. So how old was you?
I was, well, the crime supposedly happened when I was 16, but they snatched me up when I was 17, and yeah.
Damn, you was raised in that motherfucker. God dang. Mm-hmm. All right, so okay, so we'll fast forward to obviously you didn't get you got the shit end of the stick. So, you know what I mean?
So I was sentenced to 32 to life. I got found guilty and I got sentenced to 32 to life.
32 to life.
Yeah, I did 23 years off it because laws started changing. The juvenile laws changed on who could be sentenced to life. And and for 10 years I was in the shoe. I wasn't just in the shoe doing it, but I started in the shoe, filing paperwork, trying to get my habeas corpus cracking as far as the juvenile stuff. And then once I finally made it into the court system with the juvenile stuff, then the felony murder rule changed in California, and I was able to utilize that at the time. So I was probably one of the first people in Sacramento County to be able to exercise that new law.
Okay, what governor was that?
So first the governor was I forget right now, but our DA was Kamala Harris, right? And I remember that because her office wrote me a letter saying they're never going to let me out, and it's her job to keep me in there, right? And that's why I can't fuck with Kamala Harris and Biden and all them. Yeah.
No, the reason why I asked what governor, because I remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger was in office, I have an uncle, my mom's little brother, he got life. He got 3 strikes in 96, and I think they made an example out of him here in San Jose, one of the guys, because when that law first came out, so all he had on him was possession of stolen credit cards. Yeah. And the lady testified and say that they weren't stolen, that she just lost her purse. But because of his priors, robberies and all that shit, they made an example out of that fool and sent him to. But after serving 18 years of his life sentence, Arnold Schwarzenegger passed that law, and he was one of the 600. He sent me he used to send me his the highlighted names and he was one of the 600.
Yeah.
So was able to eligible for parole because it was a nonviolent offense.
Right. So they couldn't 3 strike him out. Yeah, they could strike him out.
But he served 18 years of that shit, and you served 23 years. Okay, so when you got sentenced as a 6-year-old kid, how'd you feel at that time? Was it real to you, or you didn't? Or was you numb? Nah, because a lot of times as a kid, you don't. Oh, you felt it, right?
Yeah, I felt that. A lot of people say they were numb, but I feel like I was preparing because I fought my case for like 3-4 years right around there in county jail, and I felt it, bro.
I know you had to feel that because when I was 14, I was in B1 lockdown. That's where everybody's going to fucking prison or YA and shit. Mm-hmm. And I spent the year in there, and I was really, really studying my case. Mm-hmm. And I got a break. I ended up going to a YA alternative and shit. You know what I mean? But so I know at that time, 16 years old, some people are late bloomers, but you don't seem like a late bloomer. You seem pretty sharp. So you ate that.
Yeah. No, it wasn't easy, brother. It wasn't easy, but I had a lot of good older heads around me, and dudes that are still standing. And
did they wait until you were 18 before they sent you over to the adults?
So I smashed this dude named Angel from Howell Park in county jail and juvenile hall when I was just about to turn 18, and from there they sent me to county jail.
Okay, right when you about to turn 18.
Oh. No, I was just about to turn 18. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, because I know they have to walk you over and shit, because in Santa Clara County, they walk you over. It's just like, it's just a couple feet away and shit. They walk you over.
In SAC, when you turn 18, they have you sign this paper, right? They say, if you don't get in no trouble, you can stay till you're 19, right? Because we have, at the time we were in Kiefer, we had J1 and J2, and those were like the if you're going to YA or if you're juvenile fighting murder type stuff, right? And if you our juvenile hall was always cracking, right? So if you keep getting in fights and stuff, then they're not fucking
Okay,
with
so you got the early kick and shit.
Yeah, I got the early kick. I got sent to county jail early.
So you're off to prison. Is there any OGs in there that stand out when you first got there that actually made you feel like loved?
Yeah, actually, there was a couple, and I can't say their names because they're still active and they're still, but yeah,
they'll probably see this and know who they are.
Yeah, they know who they are. There was at the time, Southside Stockton had just went through an indictment, and so there was a lot of those big homies that were in there, and they actually.
Yeah, I know a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot. They really taught me about not just other stuff, but like how to do time. You know what I'm saying, and how to deal with certain stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That you going through just mentally and emotionally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So they immediately made you feel comfortable.
Yep.
How long did it take for you to just deal with the fact that you might not be getting out? Or did you ever feel like you wasn't ever going to get out?
So it's weird you say that because one of my first tattoos was this phoenix on my arm, right? And it's like melting the bars, right? Yeah. And I always felt like, even though I had life, I was gonna go home, homie. I'm not.
Oh, you had a hope like that?
Yeah, I never lost that. So I was in the shoe, right? I was in Corcoran's shoe. It was my second attempted murder. I was in Corcoran's shoe, and a Keyway from Long Beach, a good dude, and was my next door neighbor, and there was like only 3 active cells right there where we was at, and he was like, turn on Good Morning America. And I was like, all right. So I turned on Good Morning America. I started watching about how the juvenile laws change and that they can't just arbitrarily give juveniles life without going through a specific process determining their mental stability.
How long were you there when you heard that?
How long was it? At the time? Maybe like 11 years.
Oh, 11 years. So
I'd already been locked up 11 years. I'd been in actual prison for about 7.
So when Good Morning America came on, that gave you some kind of hope.
It was like time to go, right? Because when we were in a hole, usually the homies, they used to teach us how to write 602s, write habeas corpuses, you know what I'm saying? Understanding what the laws are, how to read Black's Law Dictionary and the difference between. So we learned, like I had the fundamentals in my brain. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So when the law changed, I was able to go in the law library with that foundational knowledge, that, shepherdize cases and figure out how mine is like this dude's. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you started doing all the homework yourself.
Yeah.
Shit, man. So how'd that work? Like, did you have to reach out for anybody on the outside, or you just fill out your own?
So that was like my first thing, right? So you have all these people who are like, they put it in all kinds of different like we get these pamphlets, these prisoner help pamphlets, and all this stuff that you could go through, and you just reaching out to anybody, like, hey man, I fit this law just changed, I fit this, but I need help.
You need somebody from the outside to do something, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we had to do that too. We had to fill out this. We had to do our part on the streets. My mom and my other uncle did it for their little brother. Yeah, they had to run that shit down and get that in process. Without them doing that, he wouldn't have got in there. Like
man,
that.
I love that. But the problem with everyone that I reached out to is they weren't willing to help us, right? Because we had a lot of violence. I have a lot of violence on my county jail, juvenile hall, and prison history. Yeah. Right, and that's all they see. Yeah. Right, they don't want to be the person they don't want to be the group to help get this individual out, and then he commits more acts of violence.
Yeah. What about this 16-year-old kid? You know what I mean? Like, what about that? Like,
that's what makes them read my stuff is they see my age, right? But then what makes them say no to me? You know what I'm saying? Is the violence all the violence that I got on my record while incarcerated.
Right. Well, obviously, you didn't know what you was doing at that time. It's learned behavior too.
Right. But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not no peace. I don't believe in preaching arbitrary peace. right? So this might not be a popular opinion, but I believe like violence is a tool. Right, and so like if just like the military uses,
it's a natural instinct.
We're men,
yeah,
right, and so our as long as we have things that we do leading up to that violence is a last resort.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm a politic with you, and I'm gonna have conversations with you,
right,
and I'm gonna establish some kind of working relationship with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't got to be friends, but you're gonna deal with me respectfully.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Or there's got to be some repercussion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What am I going to do? I can't reach out to the administration. The administration ain't going to help me. That's not what they're there for. Yeah. Right?
So you rather take the compassionate route first before you know what I'm saying, before you turn into this maniac. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's not even being a maniac. It's just saying an example. I don't want to make it seem like oh, I'm crazy. Nobody, we're grown men. Yeah. It's just grown men. We have to have the capacity for violence.
Well, that's the way they look at it. They look at us like maniac, but we look at it like just a normal instinct.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It is natural. It's natural as anything.
Yeah. Well, I get that, man, because here in, I had a recent situation, and I learned that the law here in California states that you don't have to be physically hit for you to defend yourself.
Right.
You just have to feel threatened.
That's right.
But it don't work. It don't work.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. It's because they pick apart laws like that that were set to establish real relationship shit, right? Like if I just meet you, we're figuring out how to deal with me and you. Like I've talked to you on the internet, you know what I'm saying? But the internet's not real. Now we meet each other and we're having conversation. We're feeling each other's
you
lives.
Get a better feel.
If there becomes a conflict, then obviously because I respect who you are, I'm gonna deal with you respectfully. You know what I'm saying? But if at any point in anything that I say, you're gonna be like, damn. If it's anything other than respectful, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if it rubs you the wrong way, you're gonna have to, you're gonna react accordingly. I get it. But while you're doing your time, so at 11 years, you figured out that you have a way out.
Yeah.
How long did that process take from there?
Bro, 10 years. Almost another 11 years.
Damn, that's a long fight.
That's how the system works.
That's a long fucking fight.
In America, we have what's called the habeas corpus, and it came over from England, from Europe with us, right? With the founding fathers, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's been picked apart. So it's so hard to use. They have this law, this case law called Teague versus Lane, right? Teague versus Lane picks apart the habeas corpus and makes virtually impossible for you to be able to utilize it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's some good information right there.
Yeah, so you need to really understand how to even use habeas corpus before you could be like, hey, this law is changed now, and I fit the new standard. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not that simple. You have to have all the underlying laws that allow you access to the court. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Right. So when you during that 10 years you was fighting to get out, did you have to go to court at any time, or is just all just...
No, so no, me personally, I didn't. What ended up happening was once I got my case in the thing, I made sure my co-defendant, Little Man, he got in there with me too.
Okay.
Because he was also a juvenile too.
Okay.
So I made sure he got in there with us too, and then we started working together, figuring out. I didn't have a cellie for 10 years. Right. My second big thing on the yard was I had stabbed my cellie, so they didn't give me a cellie for 10 years, right? And so I had to fight to get a cellie, get him in my cell so we could really work together. Once we started working together, everything started coming into place, really cracking. We got finally a court date, right, for the juvenile stuff. 1437 happens, which is the felony murder rule change, right? And then we were able to utilize it. But
right.
when we got sent to county jail, the day we got sent to county jail, COVID happened. Right? So they were shutting down all state facilities, county facilities.
Oh, so when did you get out?
Recently.
In 2020?
2021, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, so you just barely got out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, damn. All right. So, with that being said, so you got sent to county, and how did you ever go back from county to the pen?
Yeah, so what I was saying was, COVID, we get to the county jail. We're there for one day, homie. One day. COVID happens. They're like, okay, we got to send you guys back. We're like,
shit.
Luckily, my attorney, Mr. Lipsmeyer, right, he was my attorney 20 some odd years ago when I was fighting my murder. That for the juvenile stuff, that's what they do. They hand you back to your old attorney and say, hey, do you want this case? Right? So my case personally was, it really affected my attorney. Right, because I shouldn't have got life, and I ended up getting life. You know what I'm saying? I got life because I wouldn't testify against.
So he got his run backs then.
Yeah, so he got his run backs, homie. Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So he tells the court, he says, "Look, I got cancer," because he had cancer, and he was like, "If you don't let him fight this now, even though COVID's happening, if you don't let him, I'm going to die." You know what I'm saying? And he's going to have to get a new attorney. They're going to have to go through this whole process, because for me to even get to court is a whole another entire process. Even though I fit the standards, you gotta, it's just a whole, every piece of the process is a whole situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
interesting. It's interesting.
It's not just cut and dry. So he told the court that he had cancer, and that if he dies, I'm gonna have to go through us all again. The law might change. He may not, and I might not be able to exercise it.
Okay.
Right. So what they ended up letting us do was do it through emails. We had court through emails, brother.
Oh shit! Okay.
That's crazy, right? Yeah. So me and Lil Man are back in the cell, and we're just like, anything could. We're on a level 4 180 yard. Anything could crack all the time, right? And
you had to stay focused.
Yeah.
Damn.
And when you're in prison, bro, you can't worry about that stuff, right? It'd be nice if I could just be like, hey, homies, you know, I got court. That's not real life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you had to find some time.
It's already, I trusted my lawyer. That's where I'm like, all right, I know who this man is, right? My trial lasted 16 months, right? So I know who Mr. Lismeyer is. I seen him down there every day for like 3 years.
Shout out to your lawyer though.
Well, he, he's in a better place now, but that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, I'm sure his kids or his family members would like to hear that. So it's a good story for him. You know, he was able to save a life before he went out.
Straight up. Yeah.
So you get out. How was it? How'd you feel? Was it real when you got out? Did you feel like you were still have that youngster mentality?
Yeah.
Or did you? Oh, you did, huh?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you still feel like, so you started off where you left off. But you had like a little bit like a militant mind, and
yeah.
Okay.
No, I just dropped that song 17. That's what that was about.
Okay, I'm gonna peep that.
Yeah, that's what that was about. That was like my mind state. I felt like, man, I'm 17 still. Like, you know what I mean? I wish I could have freeze the time at 17. You know,
y'all
what I'm
go
saying?
Peep that song out. What's it called? 17.
Yep, 17.
17. Go peep that song out from the homie Fats.
Free Pit. Yeah.
So so this story and that song is gonna make more sense now.
Yeah.
You know
so my boy Pit's on there. He did this thing with Behind the Lines, and they bring light to lifers behind the wall in their story, and I love that. And shout out Behind the Lines, and Triple M. I slid Triple M the little thing. I was like, man, I got this. Check this out, and he hooked me up fat ass beat. But so I did have that mind state.
So you've been out about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you get straight to the studio, or
So
was you writing in? Okay, hold on. Was you writing in the pen? Did you start music in the pen, or did you get out and want to start it here?
So in 2013, I just got out the shoe, and cell phones were a lot more prominent online, accessible. You know what I'm saying? So my first thought is, how can you make money with these phones? Obviously, right? And so I figured out some ways, but one of the legit ways was my boy Jay King. There's a little documentary about how this started, but he had a label called All Star Criminal, right? And so when I started, I was like, man, I could do some music. I'm pretty dope, right? So I started linking with producers and figuring all that stuff out behind the wall before it was popular. You know what I'm saying? And started getting that stuff cracking, and I figured out how to do damn near everything myself. I started a label. I got my little LLC, hooked up with Insane for mental illness, and he did a lot of my mixing and mastering. J.E. from Highlands. He's a J.E. the Wheelman. He works with a lot of people like a lot of them Stars, Cats, and Sack. And man, he's dope. You know what I'm saying? And they really taught me the fundamentals. Right. And so I just learned a little bit more.
So when you got out, was you on parole?
Yeah, I was on high risk parole.
How long did they keep you on parole for?
So look, because 1437 essentially erased the murder. I wasn't supposed to be on a parole, right? So even though
Probation
I had
then,
right, even though I was I had a lot of violence behind the wall.
Right.
That didn't matter. Or the only thing that mattered was they had locked me up beyond the time, right? According to the appeal, that I was supposed to be locked up. They said that I was special circumstance because I have so much violence behind the wall, right? So a stipulation, one of the stipulations of me being able to be released was that I was on parole for 1 year. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
not
I was
bad.
on parole for 1 year. Yeah.
Were you forced to have like gainful employment right away?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, every parolee is right. You gotta be able to show some pay stubs for sure.
So where'd you start working at?
Black Widow Tattoos. I'm a tattoo.
Oh,
artist,
you went
yeah.
straight to doing the tattoos.
Yep.
Okay, so you've been there ever since.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you're getting that, man. Okay, so you went. Okay, you came straight to the money.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So how's that working out? How's the tattoos?
Tattooing is my piece. You know what I'm saying?
Paying the bills?
Paying the bills for sure, but more than that, right? More than that, it's my piece. In prison, when everybody loves a tattoo, man. You know what I'm saying? So I got pretty decent at it. You know what I mean?
So you probably had that that tattoo business thought process from in there, right? Like
For sure, yeah.
Like being in business doing tattoos.
Yeah, I knew I was going. Well, it was hard. It was harder for me because I never left a 180, and to be able to get in other people's cells and do stuff like that in order to tattoo is very hard. You got to find the CEO that works in the tower that is willing to open the door for you and let you get a couple hours in there. You know what I mean?
All right. Because what I'm trying to find out was like, you obviously went through hell, and we obviously fast forward through a whole 23 years, and you got blessed with the job right away, doing tattoos. You started getting, mixed up with the music, getting in the game. To me, that's like you got like blessed like right away, as you went straight to what you know best. You didn't have to go through no construction jobs and, learning how to do stuff, walking on buildings you don't even know how to do,
Yeah.
I know you would have the motivation for spending all that time in there because a lot of dudes come fresh out the pen, go straight to construction, end up buying a house within 3 years.
Which is beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
But that's the positive part about it. So you went through hell and you came back and you got to work right away.
I think my biggest motivation is be able to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And I have two loves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the art of tattooing and that's the art of music. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, if I can make a living doing this shit for the rest of my life, I'm for sure gonna do it.
So you got this break after 23 years. You went straight to working, and I know you just got some good news the other day. You got a case.
Yeah.
You care to elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's already over. I got found not guilty. Parole rate in my house.
So you got another case. So he got another case after getting out for catching. From doing 23 years. Did you feel like, oh damn, this is part of my life. Like I'm not supposed to be out. Like they might keep me in there.
No, I never felt like that. What I felt like was, this is part of the game. Like I knew this was coming. You know what I'm saying? And they're not gonna get me. They can't just get me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like not to be like in all humility. What I mean is if you catch me doing something I'm not supposed to do, right? It's an uphill battle for you because I understand the law. You're not just gonna whip me. You might get me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm in a fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a fight, and that's what I did, and I ended up winning.
So you end up going to trial because they didn't give you no deal, right?
Yeah, they gave me a deal. It was the maximum.
Okay, so so you were forced to go to trial.
Yeah. And
so you beat that. So that's a dub.
Yeah.
But what do you mean it's part of the game?
It's part of the game. I just mean I've been going in and out of jail since I was 12.
Right.
Right. Always been on some kind of probation, parole. In
So
jail,
you were
on bail.
you still had that institutionalized
my whole thing
process.
is you can't stop me from being who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean I'm like a criminal. I'm out there committing crimes.
Right.
But I understand that the system is faulty. You know what I'm saying?
It can be, but
Yeah.
did you learn from this last case? Are you tiptoeing a little better now?
I was tiptoeing good
like to
before.
stay free?
I'm be honest. I was tiptoeing good before. I wasn't I wasn't out there like acting crazy, bro. I'm I'm a 45-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out there acting crazy.
I feel you, man. The same way with me. I was minding my own business and shit, man. Just...
So, you know what I didn't do was change. You know what I'm saying? I just remain humble, stay calm. I got a saying that I had on top of my cell, in front of my door, and every single cell was TMIDP. That's all I put up there. TMIDP. You know what that means? The main thing is don't panic. You know what I'm saying?
Don't panic. That's
don't panic. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you found a gun? All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Like, shit, look, it took me 4 years to come out and say something on Instagram. Everybody's probably thinking I was just slowing down or whatever, but I was like on a roll. I was going 100 miles an hour, and then boom, 2020 hit. Everything fucking went to shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I barely came out. Let everybody know my situation, but that's another story. My lawyer said I got to wait till a couple more months to come out with it. Yeah. But that's going to be a good one, you know. But, okay, man, so yeah, man, like I really feel like this is inspiring because a lot of people get sentenced to that kind of time. Like if you sentence me to 7 years, I'm feeling like my life's over. I'm going to be honest with you. That's how I feel right now, as I've been free that long. I'm like, that's it. I might not make it home. It's the truth. You know what I mean?
100% true.
So, you know, like to make it, so if you ever, you know, for the audience, if you ever going through shit, don't give up your life, because I know people take their lives in there, and people end up taking their lives, and don't do that, man, because look at this guy here now. You know what I mean? I don't know. If I was 16, I don't know if I would have toughed it out that long. Probably would have, you know, turned into a madman, and, you know, but, you know, and there, you know, of course, the homies ain't going to allow that. You know what I mean? They're going to keep you straight, and it helps you keep your mind strong and shit. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think a lot of times people are surprised with how well they adjust. You know what I'm saying? With terrible stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have, everybody got their ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? But like human beings are resilient. You know what I'm saying? We used to live in forests. We used to live in forests and in deserts. You know what I'm saying? Look what we did. You know what I'm saying? I just think people like to say, oh, I don't know, I'd kill myself. I'd have did it. Bro, you don't know what you would have did.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, you never know. I crack up, man, when I see these people panicking about like food shortages and all that shit. I'm like, dude, I have no problem going back to the basics. Right. You know what I mean? Like before even being in foster homes, shelter, juvenile hall, jails, or any of that shit, I was going through it at home like that. Yeah. Broke as fuck. You know what I mean? I see these memes and it says, what is that? When when the COVID, they was giving you those packages and shit. Yeah. Our packages back in the day were those, what is it, powdered milk. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Black and white boxes of powdered milk, black and white boxes of cereal.
Yep. Peanut butter. I mean?
Oh yeah. Okay, you're the same age as me. I keep thinking that you're a little younger and shit. Yeah, no, because you were a little preserved, probably being in there 23 years.
I used to be with my mama. I talk about that too. I used to be with my mama at the food closet.
Right.
You know? Yeah, we used to sit in line for hell long. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shit, we had a sponsor that used to pick us up and take us to go get us the food. That was for free. Yeah. We didn't even have a ride.
Yeah. That's
but man, I really think that's inspiring, man, for a lot of people. And is there any message you would like to give out to the youngsters that is under the age of 18 that might be going through something similar you're going through?
Yeah, I would be like, don't get into something you're not 100% sure about. You know what I'm saying? Like living this kind of life isn't like the reason everybody always talks about treachery and homies turning their backs on each other and all this stealing from each other, fucking each other's girl, and is because some homies can't handle what's happening around them. You know what I'm saying? And so they bite each other because that's all they know. So if you're not really ready for this life, go to fucking school, get a fucking job. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you got to know that there's gonna be a lot of heartache and a lot of tears, and it's forever.
I like what you told him, man. If you ain't 100% sure, you know, don't put your fucking foot in it. You don't put your first foot in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The world is huge as fuck. The world is fucking huge, and you lose sight of it. You get locked in your neighborhood. You lose sight of it.
Yeah, and then you got to go through. You know, the way I look at that too is another message. It's like when you say about the neighborhood, it's like you end up you don't get so many friends. And you can have a lot of homies, acquaintances, but when you start trying to create a bunch of friends and you expect the same in return out of all of them.
Yeah.
You want them to match your efforts. You're actually trying to like do the impossible. It's like you have a lady at home that I'm sure everybody argues with their lady once a week or maybe twice a day or whatever. But how you expect to keep all those relationships intact if you can't even keep this one at home intact? Right. It's nearly almost impossible. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
yeah,
and
man.
Also, the definition of friendship, right? Just defining who people really care about, and where you put your energy.
You realize not everybody is wired the same, and we actually don't have a lot in common. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We do have a lot in common. I think Hugh. I don't agree with that. I think people do have a lot in common. I think, like, even if you from the suburbs, if you from the trenches, like, there's commonalities in all human beings. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why the lifestyle is.
No, what I mean
so
about
far.
you realize you don't have a lot in common because you know, some people's energy is not matching. You know what I'm saying? Because what I say to you, you might take it as disrespect, but my other homie might take it as a joke. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
So there's like, you got to watch who you try to get close with. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. There's a lot of things that we don't have in common. The one thing we do have in common, like you said, we are human beings, and we're men and stuff like that. And I don't know about you, but most of my homies all were fatherless. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing, and I think that's the only thing we had in common is that we were fatherless.
Yeah.
But everything else is like we had a lot of disagreements. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's when you have friends from 10 years old all the way to 45 years old, then you'll see. You know what I mean? You know, when you're like where you were at, you were forced to get along. You had to get in line. Yeah. But growing up in the streets and stuff like that, and you're trying to go, you know, these different functions and stuff like that. You know, I'm like going back to where you said, think twice before get involved with something. Shit, you know, make sure you're 100% sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you never know, man. You know, it'd be a waste of time and shit. And the person that, like, the car you get in might fucking fuck up your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, their decision making is a lot different.
Yeah.
It'd be the quietest, squarest motherfuckers that would be the craziest motherfuckers and do some crazy shit.
That's true. Yeah.
You know?
Those are the ones you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
That's the motto.
Yeah. It'd be like, God damn, man, I should never gotten that fucking car. But anything else you want to add, man?
Nah, man. I don't want go check out Morals and Ethics.
What's that, your new album?
That's my new album.
All right, man. You guys heard that, man. Got the homie Fats over here from Sacramento. Go check out his new album and shit. And thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you, brother.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe, man. All right.